What's up YouTube? My name's Quickie, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, I'm still doing the exhaust. I've got it all tigged together and I dressed it all back so it's just one seamless piece of tube. And now I'm just going through seeing quite if I can turn that into something a little bit nicer. I ain't gonna do all of them, there's no point, not if it don't work. I just got curious, I wanted to see how good they come up. So that's what I'm doing at the minute. Oh yeah, I did use this thing. One of them. I was looking on Craig's channel a while back and he was gifted one of these. I think his lordship gave it to him. I don't know, I'm not sure, I think it was. But basically this is sprung loaded, so you put the tube in there and it kind of conforms around the shape of the tube and stuff. And it was working really well until I broke it. I broke it good. The way the angle grinder fixes on is with this stupid little thing, and it's got a couple of tabs on with bolts on, and it's tacked in two places, literally tacked. So once you start giving it large and everything else and it warms up a bit, they just snap, this bit pings off and you poo yourself. If you got one, be careful. But I did find a use for my angle grinder guard. I chopped it up and I've stuck that on the back here. I don't know if you can see. I've stuck it on the back here and I've welded it all the way around. So now it ain't going anywhere. A really good bit of kit actually. Didn't cost much. I think it's going to cost a bob or two in belts though. It eats them for breakfast. However, it does do quite a good job. It's not amazing on this sort of stuff because of all the curves and stuff, and where it's been, you know, drawn through a mandrel or bent or anything else, you do get a little telltale ridge at the start and end of the bends, and you don't like that much. You end up with all nice and shiny stuff and then a big nasty bit, so you have to end up doing it, but I'm doing it by hand anyway. A couple of little dinks in here, like there's one there, but it's actually coming up all right. I think they're going to clean up just fine. So I ain't going to bother giving them a scrub anymore because I know they're going to be good and I know I can dress it up, and I'm probably going to get a Scotch-Brite wheel for the benchtop grinder. Whiz it through on that, that'll give a nice finish and it'll take all the schmear and smuts and stuff off. So I think we're in. Right, Steve-O, he's on his way down to drop the girls off because today's Thursday. So hopefully he's going to be dropping the coils off on his way. So I'm going to start getting this lot back on the bike, see if I can't figure out that link pipe, because I'm probably going to have to shorten it. And we'll see what happens. If he turns up with the coils in time, and I've got some time before, you know, I'm going to chip off and go to work, I'm going to start the bugger up and see if it runs. I want to do that. I want to hear it run with this on it. Right. Little bit of bodgery later, and I've got the start of an exhaust system. Are we clear? Yes, he's gonna clear. Cool. Right, so now I've just got to figure out this back bit. It's all going to come off and it's all going to get cleaned up again. I've started doing it, but I just want to get the thing working basically. That's what's important. It's nice and solid up front. So now it's just a case of sorting this out. Well, I'm not sure what happened there, but it's now Friday. I lost a whole load of footage. I thought I was filming and clearly I wasn't, and it isn't there, and so, you know, you haven't really missed out though, it has to be said. I have been monkeying about with the exhaust a little bit more. I've been chopping bits out. All this lot. Basically I wanted to move this round a little bit so I can get a different angle from this link pipe. That way I can rotate it. This is just being held out by this strap at the minute, but I can rotate it and pull it in a little bit more. And I think we've got the clearances that we need. So I'm happy with that because it means I haven't got to shorten this up. And if I'm running a shorty anyway, I really wanted to keep as much length to it as I possibly could. But I think we're in there. I think we're sorted. Steve-O also rocked up and he bought me the original coils off Jixit, which he still had. Shoved them on the bike. That was just like a 2-minute job. First touches the button and it starts. She's a runner again. Asbo lives and breathes. And it started real easy too. Before, you used to have to sit there for ages and play with the choke and everything. It weren't having it. Now, first touch of the button and it fires up, which is awesome. So, what I want to do is crack on and get the exhaust finished, because then we can start measuring how noisy stuff is. And we'll put the noisy boy back on and we'll have a look with that. That's going to be funny. As far as the coils go, I ain't entirely sure where the problem actually is. The only thing I can think is that it's heat. Heat has gotten to it. And it's got to be something like that. It's got to be. I've measured it every which way I possibly can do with the meter, and it's still checking out the same. So I've either, with the caps off and checking in the lead here, I'm getting absolutely nothing on both of them. So I reckon it's heat, and I reckon it's something to do with the floppy bit, not the cap and not the coil, because they seem to be fine. The only thing I can think, and it is a total guess, is that where he's had the Noisy Boy exhaust on it, he still had standard jets, and I think they were set up for standard anyway. So the thing would have been running lean, and that generates more heat. And these HT leads were just, they weren't even tied up, they were just laying on top of the valve cover. So what I'm thinking is like lots and lots of heat cycles, you know, run it, it gets hot, and then stop it and it cools off again, sort of thing. I think they've just got hot. So all that expansion and contraction, maybe I've got cracks in the leads. It was running a bit rough to start off with, and it would kind of miss and skip a beat and everything else, which I could imagine if there is a break in here, sometimes it makes contact and sometimes it doesn't. So sometimes it sparks and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know, it's got to be something like that. But anyway, Matt said he'd quite like to have a nosy at these and see if he can figure out where it's failed. So they'll be going off to him and he can have a play. Right, let's get this done. I need to sort out some sort of hanger. This is the clamp that goes around that oval can that I'm not going to use. I ain't going to use this one because he can sell it with the can. And I couldn't anyway because it's too big. However, I might rob that bit and make my own. I'll just do it out of sheet metal, out of steel, paint it black. Once it's done, shove it in that and stick it on the bike. Jobs are good, I reckon. So I reckon I might do that. Right, let's see. Right, it's only up there for now. I need to get some more belts for that grinding wheel attachment, because we've got this old bracket that was on here, it's just been chopped off. So that one needs to be cleaned up. The good news is it sits underneath, which kind of suggests that this link pipe would have gone on the other side or the other way around or something. But we're making it fit. Right. Right, so I've been goofing. I found another one of those, the exhaust bands that go around here. So I've been monkeying about with it, trying to get it into a stupid shape to go around this can, cause it isn't round. And I think we are pretty close actually. Right, so that wants to do something. Like, I need to bend this bit back, but that was gonna do. That'll do it. Right. Right, we can chop him off there. The base of that hole. now I'm going to need to extend that one. Oh, it's never easy, is it? Yeah, that'll work. It's quite snug all the way around. Well, it ain't going to just slide off, is it? So what I'm also thinking of doing is using that hanger that Steve-O had. Where is it? This thing. So the idea is, once this is all in the right place, I can obviously monkey about with it a little bit and get things where I want it, and this band can go up and down. But I'm probably going to put 2 tabs on the back of this to marry up with the edges of this. That's going to bolt through there. Ideally I'd want 2 fixings. Can't do that, so I'm going to have like a plate either side of this on the back here, hole in the middle that will bolt through there, and that will stop it rotating and doing all that. But the idea is, once this is finished, I'll chop the end of this off as well, but it's going to mount up something like that, so it'll be all nicely in line. I just need to make it fit, which at the minute it isn't. But that'll be alright, we'll get that done. So that's the idea, a little bit of chopping up and everything. I need to get that space in as well. But anyway, that's the plan. Right. So that's my little exhaust clamp. That's going to go around the end can. It is a stupid shape. We've got a nice snug fit though, so that's all good. It's got a big washer on the front, a little washer on the back, because these quite thin stuff, even though it's stainless and that. As you tighten it up, there's a tendency, if you haven't got washers underneath it, for the nut and the bolt to kind of grab, and it sort of twists it. So, and it's only as steady, it's not taking any massive loads. Right, so that's that done. Right, hanger. Right, hanger. Basically going to use most of this. This is going to need to be trimmed off here to about that level. So I don't know, we might bring it in a bit at the bottom. Something like that. This top bit isn't really going to be needed. Although it does give it a bit, I mean, I may well just lop that off like that. Don't know. That's the next thing. It's a shame we got that hole there. But there's not a lot I could do about that. Yeah, it's just a little bit wide. Right. Yeah, I've got another clamp on order. This is just too small. It's a 64mm 64mm tube coming out the back of the collector, which is quite a size, and this is snug as snug gets. The trouble is, it's rubbing up on the threads. So you can get this bit around just by spacing it out and opening it, but this is basically flat and it's not having it, it's not going on. So I've got another one coming. I don't know how long that's going to take to get here, but yeah, it needs to be safe and secure and stuff. We could probably run it without it. Once it's clamped front and back, it does have a gasket in the middle of it. It will run quite happily, and we'll get an idea as to what it's going to sound like, but I don't really want to do it until it's all clamped up. So we've got to wait on that one. Right, let's get this chopped down and see where we go from there. didn't know this, but apparently I'm a fashion guru. Icon to the hip and happening. When lockdown first started and stuff, what, 3 or 4 weeks ago now, coming into the workshop and stuff, the only people that you ever saw out was all the people walking their dogs or going for a bike ride or giving it all this down the street, getting hot and sweaty. And because I've been coming here at the same sort of time every day, you get to see the same faces, and they're the only faces you do see because everybody else is at home. So anyway, coming in today, I saw most of them again actually, and literally all the fellas now look like this. They've all shaved their heads. I reckon it's got nothing to do with the fact that all the barbers are closed. I reckon they've been watching the channel and they just want to look this good. Fashion guru, I've got it. Right, that's it, exhaust is sorted. That's the exhaust I'm running. It don't look too bad at all. I'm quite happy with that. Steve-O did figure out what this came off. This is off his R1 track pipe. So, crappy can off Wish, R1 link pipe, 750 Delcovic headers on the 600. But I mean, we had to cut and clock it and do various other bits and pieces, but it's on, it works, it looks lovely. Looks a treat. And more importantly, it works and it's safe. We are going to monkey about this. I still need to do the colour tune and set the carbs up because she's not running like spot on. But once we've done that, Simon Rolls has very kindly sent me this, said I could borrow it, and we're going to measure the exhaust systems. So I've got the other Delcovic can, which we'll stick on here in place of this rubbishy one, and we'll see what that's what should be on it. We'll see what that sounds like and how noisy that is, and then we'll have a go with the noisy boy as well and see the difference there. That is going to be stupid. I could do with another giggle. But anyway, really isn't that much left to do. I've got to set the colour tune and sync the carbs so I can do all that exhaust checking. And then it is literally just a case of sticking the bodywork on. We might have to take a little bit out for this. But basically sticking the bodywork on, sort out the indicators and the headlamp, make sure that's all pointing in the right direction. And basically we're there. We sorted, everything's working. And it ain't took that long, not really. And it ain't really took a great deal of cash either, so I'm quite happy with that. But then I'll get to go hooning a lot. Plan for this bike is it's going to be a daily commute. However, on the channel, pretty much everything we're going to be doing is going to be based around a Bandit, be it a 600 or a GSX 750 or the 1200 or something like that. So this is going to turn into a little bit of a test bed, I reckon. What I want to do is there's like everyone, if you look on the forums and stuff, they're all going, oh, this works really well and that works really good and this is rubbish and so on and so forth. So I quite like the idea of trying it out, mostly because then I'm going to get a really good setup that I can use on the project builds that we're going to be doing going forwards. So things like how to set the suspension up. You can swap the rear shock out for something else because that one's just horrible. And there is no adjustment on the front. And if I know what sort of exhaust systems I'm going to be making, so length and the bores and all that sort of stuff, then I'll be able to also get a jetting and set up for the carbs and all that sort of stuff. So any future builds and that, I know where I'm going. I ain't got to figure it out. So that's what we're going to do. I also want to get this dynoed. I want to know how much she makes. I don't really care how much she makes. I just want to know how much and see what the power curve's like, so there's no holes and gaps and nasty bits going on. Because that will all bode well for the future. But anyway, so the next one is I'm going to be measuring the exhaust so we can do a bit of a comparison. We'll get all the bodywork and stuff back on it, and pretty much that'll be it really for this. And then we can go out and play and you can come along with us. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Do hope you're staying safe. Hope you're enjoying the videos and whatnot. And we'll see you again next time. Laters!